Right. Hello. So I started setting up an actual skybox for a cloudy day. I'm using my own skybox path tracer to generate this. It has a bug in it. There is a, you can see there's kind of a square here. I'm not certain. I think it might be gamma correct being applied like twice or something. I'm going to debug it, so we'll see. Oh my god, I think I know what's happening. I think it's gamma Actually, I'm not certain. My gamma correction function might be broken. think it might actually be the face render shader. I think face render is used in the actual rendering, and then when I actually render it out, it changes the shader, and then if it has gamma correct, it renders incorrectly. Let me see.
People all around the world, it's not time to move antisocial. Remember, love is internal and it's global. Yeah. Peace and love is the only way. The only way. The only way. The only way. Yeah. Peace and love is the only way. The only way. The only way. The only way. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Oh, it's a beauty to see people coming together. Different race, different culture, different color. Yeah. Remember, war has no meaning, no victor, no winner. Let's spread love and stop move like a sinner.
I literally can't figure out how my own code works. Where does it render?
Everybody need kissing, everybody need hug. There's no reward being a gangster, there's no reward being a thug. Make we chant one love like Marley does. And I say, peace and love is the only way. The only way. The only way. The only way. Peace and love is the only way. The only way. The only way. The only way. Peace and love is the only way. The only way. The only way. The only way. Peace and love is the only way. The only way. The only way. The only
Sometimes I feel like that the communication flying between us like a sweet sensation. Throw in the weather like print transmission.
Yep, so you can see here, for whatever reason, the Y is way brighter. It doesn't even have to do with gamma correct. Alright.
Mode to choose, and if you don't know what words to use, and if you say pas quel mot to choose, and if you don't know what words to use, and if you say pas quel mot to choose, and if you don't know the words, go yadadai, and if you don't know the words, say yadadai, 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 yadadai.
storm coming. You've been biting your tongue. I know you're trying to say something with all of those secrets you're keeping. Wanna see what you're hiding underneath it. What are you waiting for? No, I can't wait no more. So what are you waiting for? 'Cause we're so electric, it's hard to ignore.
Firefox and Chrome that change the APIs so goddamn much and add bugs in every single update. Alright. So we got Firefox back open. I'm honestly thinking I should go into Edge. Because, oh, it's kind of laggy now. Interesting. This bug is here though, that's cool. Alright, so kind of what I thought here, only do this if rendering. So how do I do this? I wonder if this isn't getting fully initialized before it's calling these. Alright, please don't crash my browser again. That's so weird. It has like a jitter. Dude, the web browsers are actually so buggy. I think all I'm doing is responding to mouse move events too. So like it's literally lag. Let's look at the event listener. Yep. Oh my god. So the mouse move is actually lagging and bugging out. It's hard to see, but like when it starts going slow, you move. I wonder if it's something about having a while loop. It's so weird, it like hangs. Either way. Alright, let's try to get this. Okay, so interestingly, it doesn't look like the bug is here. This is how WebGL works in Firefox. Firefox has worst WebGL performance. I've found Chrome and Firefox are both equally as bad. Actually, Chrome actually seems to be worse after the previous update. I don't know why, but Chrome literally has like a tiny jitter in like the WebGL rendering, for at least on my computer now. I don't know what they did. Okay, so that looks really good. It just like instantly rendered. That rendered way quicker, which is actually really good. This still looks bugged. Yeah, this is definitely still bugged. So I was actually able to get a perspective of the bug when I was doing this while loop here. While. So how would I do this? I think yeah, so I'll have to deal with the lag. But here we can see the same bug is actually happening. We can see it. Oh my god, it's actually making OBS lag. My stream is running at like 30 FPS. But anyways, here's the bug. So you can actually see, for whatever reason, the top Y of the cube, the Y face of the cube map is brighter than all the others for some reason. Firefox swap each frame from VRAM to RAM and back to VRAM when Chrome implement internal fixes for each GPU and driver. Firefox cannot do it because they don't have this much dev. As far as I'm aware, that doesn't happen. It if you have layers acceleration turned on in Firefox, it never copies it to RAM, and that's actually a problem. Like, I know because when I try to this screen at the beginning was captured in Firefox, and I couldn't capture it unless I turned off layer acceleration because it actually needs to copy the frame back to RAM for OBS to be able to capture it for whatever reason. So Firefox definitely doesn't copy it to VRAM if you have the default settings. If you're like, so that's my thing, is like if you've disabled layers acceleration, your about config, then it will copy it back to RAM. So I'm thinking I'm not gonna render any of these. I'm gonna disable the rendering, and then we're gonna disable the path tracing, and then I'm gonna display the cube map, so we'll be able to see how the cube map is initialized and see if there's an issue in the initial cube map. Nope, doesn't look like there's anything there. Could be because it's doing frame plus plus. Firefox has best performance in AMD. NVIDIA, Firefox always copy RAM to VRAM because WebGL security reasons. It does not do that. It doesn't. I mean, I'm telling you, it does if you disable layers acceleration, but by default, Firefox does not copy it to your RAM. So, there's no issue with the initialization. I guess maybe it could be something about the rendering order. Rendering face. Actually just looking, why is image section Y set to -1? I guess they do default to -1. Does no matter, don't want to distract you much. I mean, it makes sense, like, to do certain displaying for Firefox with the Windows API, they need to, like, actually copy the texture. Unless, like, they do it all on the GPU, which is what the layers acceleration does. But I think that requires the latest Windows 10 API that has all the, like, DirectX 11 stuff built in, so you can just access textures, like, directly linked to GDI. Okay, it's rendering so much faster now. Okay, so this will measure how many times it renders to each map of the cube, or face of the cube map. And then I'll be able to check it to see if any of the faces have been rendered to more than each other. Nope, they are basically equal. Yep, they are equal. Okay, so it's rendering the same amount to each face. At least it looks like. Let's try changing this to just multiply by the background. And let's see if the Y coordinate could be messing this up. I really don't think it's the... yeah, never mind. This isn't the actual shader. That would show up in the preview then. This is a really difficult bug. Like, I literally have no idea what this is. I feel like it has to be something with, like, the way WebGL deals with buffers or something. I guess I could pause it and then step through one by one of what it's doing in JavaScript. You see how the top of the cube map here is, see the top, it's hard to see here, the top map of the, I'm trying to pause this, but Firefox is frozen. Ironically, Firefox is so frozen that the freeze button doesn't work. This shit's actually pissing me off how bad this web browser is. Like, the Firefox devs are legitimately getting worse. Like, this shit does not work. Holy shit. Alright, this is what the bug looks like though. You see the skybox here? It looks good on the X and Z axes, and then the Y face is like twice as bright. And I literally can't figure out why it's twice as bright. Like, it's using the exact same shader program, it's being passed basically the exact same parameters. Like, I'm almost betting it's actually a WebGL bug. Use cube map or each side as a plane. I use a cube map and then it exports it as each side as a plane. And so at first I actually thought the export was where it was messing up, because it's like, oh, the export bugs it out because I don't know, it's exporting it. Like, so I did something different for the Y face. But no, here it's rendering the cube map, and you can see the Y face is actually brighter in the cube map too. It's, I have no goddamn idea, man. Literally no idea. Put all same images everywhere? What do you mean? On each side to drop case where image for top side may be broken. Put same images everywhere. Like, you mean use one image for every single cube map face? Yeah, that doesn't work. It makes it not lined up. For example, actually, I don't want to change this because I'll have to redo it. But if you see, none of them line up. I mean, it's not bad, but you can see there is a seam. But that's the thing, it doesn't actually line up. You want the actual proper faces. Or it's supposed to be a 3D scene where it matches up, so... You have a problem that top is brighter than others. Trying to debug it. Yeah. Yeah. You can see here, when it renders the cube map and generates the cube map, it's literally rendering brighter to the top one. So there's either something in the rendering code, well, yeah, or it's in WebGL itself. I don't see any reason why these would be brighter. Let me try something. Render below horizon. Oh my god. What the hell? You draw 7 faces and twice on top. I'm not even certain anymore. It's actually somewhat showing up and then not showing up now. It was shader bug. I actually think it's not a shader bug. You can see here. I think it's a rendering order bug. You draw planes in loop. Well, yeah, that's the way WebGL works. There's no way to draw to, unless you use like texture layers or something, you can't draw to all 6 cube map faces at once. You need to render each face as an image plane. Yeah, this literally doesn't make sense. You can see it is kind of rendering one face more than the other. But then, if it was actually rendering one face more than the other, that would show up in my face distribution or measurement here. That would show one face having significantly more renderings than the other. But it doesn't. All of them are pretty much identical. Or they're in the same range, they're going up together. Looks like you draw 2 planes with alpha blending on top and it's color multiplied. Yeah, but it's not that, because even when you export it as the cube map face, it's brighter. Like the cube map face itself is literally brighter. Bind buffer. Bind frame buffer FB. Bind the screen frame buffer. I'm just walking through the program now. I honestly believe it's a WebGL bug. Let me try, just as a test, request animation frame. Render each frame in frame buffer, or do you make camera look on face and then take screenshot to save from single FBO? Yeah, it's literally rendering directly to the cube map face. You can see right here, frame buffer texture 2D. Attaching the cube map face. Loops through all 6 cube map faces here. Rendering to them. And then this display literally renders the cube map with like camera yaw and pitch. Yeah, it's interesting. It's literally rendering like unevenly. That's kind of crazy. It almost looks like there's a little bit of uneven rendering on the left and right too. What the hell? Does it happen even if I don't move the camera? I think the rendering batches aren't matching up. I think these image section X and whatever aren't 100% matching up with the size. They aren't giving an even number of splits or something. Huh. I almost, like, man, I'm actually thinking it would almost be easier for me to just rewrite this in, like, C or something. And just say, fuck JavaScript. Come on, pause. Dude. These dev tools are literally broken. Like, they literally don't work. Holy shit. Similar to in Godot, you can do the same in Unity, I think. I mean, Unity definitely doesn't have a realistic skybox path tracer built in. Render frame. So do I start quick render frame at the beginning and then I never call it again? No, actually, face distribution would be different if these were rendering different batch amounts. And then it would actually happen to each face. It wouldn't happen to just one top face. It would happen to all the faces. Holy shit, what is this? I actually wonder if this is something in my shader code. I don't know what could cause that though, where it's like just a top face. Maybe it's an additive float blending bug. I definitely know there's issues with using floating point textures. So I wonder if this blending right here, I'm gonna manually enable these. I don't even think I need these for anything, but color buffer float. Oh yes. Float blend. OES isn't even the name, whatever. Holy shit, was that it? There's no way, man. There's no way that the issue was Firefox saying that implicitly... No, never mind, there's the bug. It just showed back up. There it is. Oh my god, what the fuck is happening? Okay, you want to hear the craziest thing about this? This didn't used to happen on an old version of Firefox. This used to work properly. So that's also what kind of... You know what? Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. This will be the test. We're putting it in Chrome. Oh my god. Okay. So... what is it doing? Okay, so the bug is in Chrome as well. It's actually different. Dude, I wonder if this is a WebGL bug, because it's literally happening differently in each browser. I'm guessing it's something wrong with my code, but at the same time this used to work properly, so like try to launch with enabled and disabled angle. That's actually a good idea. That is a good idea. This is going to be the funniest thing if the fix is just disabling angle. No, it still works. Or it still happens. Well, okay. So I have a new theory. On Edge, it renders to gray. So my theory actually now isn't that it's rendering the Y brighter. It's rendering them all the same. My theory is that it's rendering gray to the one face. That's my theory. Source alpha. If it works angle on and off, then it's bugging your code. Do you use cube map maps? Nope. What if I do GL1? Maybe it's an issue with my blend functions. No. So let's see, when I'm doing the rendering, it just outputs the path trace with an alpha of 1. So actually me doing source alpha wouldn't have had any difference. So this is interesting. It's almost like it's being blend result with background. What if we just try just outputting c.xyz? Let's try this. Nope. Huh. So this kind of looks like it's like rendering blue over top. Whoa. Okay, there's 100%. It's 100% rendering over something. I wonder if it's calling clear. I wonder if for whatever reason it's calling like clear at some point. What if we do geo.clear clear color 0000? No. Oh my god, that's so weird. It just all of a sudden just pops up with a rendering that's way brighter. Okay, and that there was broken. Yeah, it started with gray. Huh. I am legitimately confused. I actually think there's a bug in like WebGL. But I will keep looking. It could always be a bug in my own code. Huh. So now it's actually blending, it's drawing brighter on the bottom. What is happening? So when I disable the top and bottom color, oh my god, that's so weird. It's rendering like the top color over top that. What? So the background is like rendering over top. So let's go through, maybe this is a shader code. Let's go through all the sections of shader code that render background. Light right makes it to edge of world, illuminated. Blend result with background. If ray smaller than, I wonder if this ray could be like null for whatever reason. Like I wonder if the camera data gets passed in wrong. Then it renders as, no, that actually still wouldn't make sense. Because the bottom can still actually cause the same effect. So let's think about this. It's not just rendering past the bottom, it's rendering up here. Okay. Interesting. So now it seems like it's rendering equally. So then if we do top color, does it have the opposite effect up here? Huh. So I think I have an idea what's happening. WebGL puts queues stuff up for rendering, and so then when I call, where is it? The clear function here, or when I call like text image 2D, I should actually be calling clear, I think. Because I think this gets delayed, and then it happens in the middle of a rendering. So you end up getting... So this sets frame buffer texture 2D every single time. So I'm changing the frame buffer texture. Oh my god. I think I know what it is. I'm swapping between frame buffer textures. I should create a different frame buffer for each cube map face. And something about it flipping between them. It's the same thing here. When I do this too quickly, it renders the same face twice because WebGL delays the frame buffer texture 2D call, or it like puts it in a queue and then keeps executing JavaScript, and then I have JavaScript that, I don't know, I think it's mixing up the order of my WebGL calls. That's what I think is happening. So I'm going to create a cube FBs function. I'm going to try creating 6 separate cube map faces. And on resize, this is where we're actually going to set up the cube map. If rendering end frame bigger than 0, end frame smaller than 10,002, or resizing return. This is just so that the same thing doesn't get called twice. I hope this fixes it. Alright, so now let's try binding these individual frame buffers. And then to clear it, we can just call GL clear. And then I don't need to change the exporting code yet, I don't think. I guess I could still use this shitty frame buffer method. I think I could just render these to the screen, but I do need a cube map big enough. Alright. Nope, that did not work. That did not work. I think the solution, if I rewrite this code, is to never use cube maps. I feel like a lot of these bugs are probably coming from me trying to use the cube maps with the frame buffer. Oh my god, I just realized. This doesn't rebind. So I actually need to go through when the camera... Okay, so these are separate. I have this code that sets the frame buffer, and then when the camera's changed, I actually loop through all the cube map faces. So then when it changes the cube map face, it rebinds another one. Oh my god, I think I found the bug. It was changing the cube map face without changing... Oh, no. God damn it. You know what? It's actually really interesting. It looks almost like the sun is being cut off too. Like the whole background is actually less bright when it's being rendered there. It's kind of interesting. I wonder if the uniforms aren't being updated. I mean, the sky top and bottom color actually end up being defines, so I literally don't see, unless it was using like different shaders for these, how this could be happening. Commenting out the render below horizon. Wow, I wonder if it is the code for rendering below horizons. No, no, it's not. There it is happening again. Huh. It's almost like it forgets about a frame. Like it resets the cube matte face and forgets about one of the other ones. I wonder. But then it would show up in the face distribution function. No, basically identical. Shader bug, maybe normalize of top face, and you do 1 divided by normalize RD. Nope. It's not normalization. It would happen along the horizon then. What if I change the pixel batch size to either smaller or larger? So it's so weird. Sometimes it works perfectly, and then it bugs out. So if I disable these, it doesn't happen. It only happens when I have the top and bottom color enabled. Huh. Huh. Oh wait, maybe it's not, and it's just you can't see it. Such a weird bug. So it's not just rendering. So I wonder if even though WebGL says it's rendering them, like even though I'm measuring these face distribution counts, it's not actually rendering them. Let me test this. So this stops working properly use Shader Toy QMap and looking if it works there. I actually do have the Shader Toy, or on Shader Toy. This is my, it's called Skybox Renderer on my Shader Toy. And it works on Shader Toy. But at the same time, it's not rendering to a cube map on Shader Toy. So that's why I'm pretty sure that the shader code is good. Okay, let's try this. So this is gonna make it way slower to render. But it's only gonna render a single frame per request animation frame, which I think will make Firefox a lot happier. Huh. It looks like it's working now. It's just going way slower. Huh. I'm actually so confused. I don't understand why this would fix it. Unless, like, Firefox is doing some really weird... some really weird stuff in the rendering. That actually pisses me off, because it basically means the solution is to have your code run way slower. So the issue is request animation frame only calls at maximum of like 60 FPS, and so because this is a path tracer, I want to render like 10 paths for every 60 for every frame, so it's actually like rendering 600 frames. So I guess I could run it through a for loop to run it 6 times, but that will probably just cause the exact same issue that we had before. Maybe not, actually. I literally don't understand what... So was that a bug with while loops? So what's the difference here between executing I++ until 6 and doing date.now while date.now smaller than... Is it that it doesn't update date.now and that this runs way too many times so that Firefox runs into issues? Like, that's what I don't get. How does this work any differently? I'm glad I fixed it, but the solution is so stupid. This is really interesting. So there's effectively... So let me count how many times this executes. Looped. Execute times. So I wonder if this is going like 1,000 times. Wow, so it's rendering like 100 frames together, and that probably causes bugs to Firefox. So I wonder if there's a limit to this, like if you go end execute smaller than 10, like if it only does 10 renderings, does it work properly? Oh my god. So there's a limit where if you queue up too many render commands or draw calls, Firefox just forgets them. That's actually like that is actually broken. Like the OpenGL spec is that if you send draw calls, they get rendered. It gets put in a queue, and if it doesn't get rendered, it'll send you an error back. Like, this is actually broken. It's not throwing OpenGL errors, but then it's forgetting draw calls. So look at this. I'm guessing the limit is around 50 or 100. Okay, so it's actually able to stack up about 50 here. Alright, 80. Still no bug, really. Let's try 150. Okay, at 150, we are starting to see and this is really weird because it's saying it's rendering thousands of times. Oh yeah, but I guess it's rendering the cube map faces, so it's not actually... Wow. So let's try 20. And let's get frames going up to like what it was before, just to make sure the bug still isn't there. Dude. So we're at 100 frames like before. Like, I'm actually blown away by this. So if you create a while loop, or wait, so this should actually happen if I do a for loop with like 100 commands as well. But basically, looping over, or doing a while loop or a for loop, and executing over 100 bind and draw calls, Firefox will eventually forget the draw calls and just not execute some of them. Which, if you're doing something that requires a specific order, like cube map faces, results in an uneven rendering. That's actually so broken. Holy shit. Oh my god. This is one that I feel like posting on the Shader Toy Discord because it's so dumb. And like, this is the crazy thing too. I'm still not certain that this isn't a bug in my code. But like, my biggest hint is that this was working in previous versions. Wow. Alright. That kind of like just pissed me off, man. I hate stuff like that. And I'm gonna go have lunch soon anyways, so we'll come back and we'll actually generate a skybox because now it works. Fucking Firefox and Chrome devs, man. Actually, wait. Just to make sure, hold on. We should make sure that the fix works in Edge as well. This is actually a good check. Firefox starts having issues after about 100 stacked draw calls. Alright, so Edge is working good with 10 stacked draw calls. Okay, at 50 stacked draw calls, Edge starts fucking up. So Edge and Chrome actually has a lower limit of issue than Firefox. But it's actually almost faster, it looks like, in a way. So you can actually see, it actually looks like there's a race condition between the frame buffers. Can you see this? So even at a low execution count, you can actually see there's a tiny little race condition in that some of these are executing more than others. That is so busted. So then if we lower this to 10, does it work now? Or does it still bug out? I know GLES2 can render thousands of render calls per frame with no problem. There must be some problem with your case or render to cube map. I know. This is what I don't get though, is it literally fixes it as soon as you reduce it to just like 10 draw calls. I think that it's not just draw calls. It's it's also swapping the frame buffer. So you can see here there's no issues when you do it. When you do under 10. Oh wait! Look! There still are issues. That's so crazy. So even under 10, it begins to desynchronize at times. I'm so confused. Alright, well, at least we got it working to a certain degree. If I rewrite that, I probably won't write it in WebGL. Maybe your code trigger unknown WebGL bug. Yep, that's like, who knows? Oh my god, it actually just showed up. It just bugged out again. Hold on, I am super skeptical that this isn't going to show up in Firefox. Oh my god, I keep saying we're done, but it's actually showing up a tiny bit right here still. Okay, it kind of evens out now. That's crazy. So it does work in Firefox. It doesn't eventually bug out in Firefox. So Chrome is actually more bugged than Firefox. I've not saw a bug that you experienced when I developed many custom WebGL apps for testing. There was other bugs, your case unknown to me. Well, if there's other bugs, then I'm sure there could be bugs like the one I experienced. Alright, I'm gonna go eat. I'll probably be back a few hours this afternoon to get back into Unity stuff. I didn't want to spend long editing this Skybox stuff. I thought it would be a quick bug to fix. I thought it was a bug in my own code, so it was like, I actually feel like if it's a bug in my own code, that would have been quicker to fix. Because I would have looked through my code and gone, oh, this isn't working properly. Like in the matrix multiplication code yesterday, I was like, yeah, these rows and columns aren't multiplied together correctly. In this, it was like, I'm still not even certain what the issue is, but I managed to fix it. Programming. Alright, bye-bye. I hope you have a good day, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are. See you around.